Hey everyone, it's Jake and Jake's Metal Chat. Hope you're all well and welcome to episode 16 of my Metal Vault. For those who have been watching this series for a while, you know the drill, but for anyone brand new, welcome to my channel and this series where I will be exploring and showing you my favorite albums within heavy metal, thrash metal, death metal, black metal, doom metal, sludge metal, folk metal, you name it. All of that excellent stuff. And I have another amazing album from the year of 1991, because the one I covered before that, 2 episodes before, being Autopsy's Mental Funeral from that same year. But this one is some excellent, solid doom metal from a band formed in 1989 in Coventry here in the UK. And I've seen these guys twice, once in Southampton and then again at Bloodstock 2010. Such a great band. A band no longer going because they did disband in 2013, but released a good amount of albums, a great amount of albums, actually. Excellent. And I thought, as this is the one I have, I will talk about this one first. This is Cathedral and their 1991 debut, Forest of Equilibrium. And damn, what an album. Solid 90s doom metal. Very death doom as well, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But for those who have listened to it, you will know what I'm on about. Anyone that's not familiar, then here's a band for you. And of course, anyone brand new, you might not know who that man is right there holding the cross, but veterans, you know. This is Lee Dorian. He used to be in Napalm Death before this band. He was on the B side of Scum. That was his first appearance in the band, and then did From Enslavement to Obliteration, which is one of my favorite Napalm Death albums and part of that Lee Dorian era. Of course, did the Mentally Murdered not demo, EP, I believe. Let me double check that. Yeah, the single and the EP. Yeah, I was right. And yeah, that's about it. And he's appeared on various other re-releases of Napalm Death's albums, and he's done guest vocals for Paradise Lost, SOB, and various other bands, but those are like the two biggest ones a lot of people know. And of course, anyone who was around in 1989 when they appeared on the BBC, not Cathedral, but Napalm Death. Obviously, Lee was in Napalm Death along with Bill Steer, who, of course, we know from Carcass. Of course, they went on tour together during the 90s. And how this band formed was Lee was talking to original guitarist Mark Griffiths, who played guitar from 89 to 1990 and then bass 1990 to 1992. And yeah, pretty much, yeah, left after 90, left in 92. But the band still kept going. They formed the band because they both love doom metal, like Black Sabbath, Candlemass, Pentagram, Trouble. Now, a lot of people are like, well, I said Black Sabbath, doom metal. When you listen to the first album by Black Sabbath, very doom metal. The riffs and the tempos of the songs definitely doom right there. And it's got a bit of that in there, and you know, it's got that mix of that first Black Sabbath album and Trouble and, you know, various parts of Pentagram and Candlemass and any other doom metal band that you can think of. He would be a big fan of and would like, yep, put that in there. But later albums after this, probably starting with their second album, The Ethereal Mirror, went a bit more on that 70s proggy style. You don't hear that in this one. You hear more just doom, like, like early, like 80s doom metal, basically. And later on, and of course, before all that, so proto heavy metal, doom metal with Black Sabbath, definitely get that mix in there. And I said Death Doom earlier, now I'll tell you why. Because of some of the riffs, some of the power chord bits, especially on the Ebony Tears, you know which bits I'm on about. Before it gets into that hammer off pour bit. But still got a bit of that groove, but it's got that groove which obviously a lot of which a lot of people got to know as soon as they started making more albums. It has that, but obviously in the Infernal Mirror and so on from there started getting more on that doomier, proggy style metal, like doom progressive rock with doom metal. I don't know the only way I can describe it. If you agree with that, cool. If not, you probably have a different like opinion on that. Like saying, oh no, well maybe a bit of that, but maybe something else. But obviously, this is more, I think, on the deafier, doomy side of it. The death doom side of doom metal. So there's doom metal, and you got stoner doom, sludge doom, death doom, funeral doom. You got all these different types of doom. I'm not saying it's funeral doom to so to speak, but some songs like Ebony Tears is quite a slow song, so not slow to the point that you hear it in funeral doom metal bands like Skepticism and Ahab and Esoteric, or Esoteric, however you say the band name, however you prefer to say them. But obviously, Esoteric came out 3 years after these guys formed. So if we're talking about bands and exploring the genre that these guys are famous for, gonna mention those bands as well. Obviously, Skepticism was 91, and I'm pretty sure they would have taken influence from bands such as Cathedral and um maybe the first Black Sabbath album and just other other styles of music as well, just mixed in there. But like I said, with Cathedral, they went a bit more on that groovier, proggy, psychedelic. So it's psychedelic as well, proggy, psychedelic, 70s style rock. Of course, I showed it back again because obviously a lot of bands back in the 90s would have gone to graveyards and got pictures. Nothing wrong with that at all. And of course, released by one of the many labels out there, a famous one here in the UK, Earache. Also got a lot of favorite albums from that label. Got a lot of them in my collection. CD with black print of the logo and album title, and of course the Earache logo on a grey CD. And a silhouette picture of the guys. I'm not sure whereabouts that is from that cemetery, but I like pictures like this where it's got a bright sky background there and they're just obscured by darkness. Now let's get some more. Right, you saw the artwork on the front. Here's a bit more of it. That was done by a man named Dave Hatchett. I think I said his last name wrong, or I might have said it right. If anyone thinks I said it wrong, then yeah. Patheet, I think is pronounced Hatched. But he did a lot of artwork for these guys up until they disbanded in 2013. Also did the debut for Electric Wizard for their self-titled. Hex AD did 3 albums for them. And Iron Maiden, he did the cover for Dance of Death. And of course, when you look at it, you're like, yep. His artwork, quite a famous Okay, famous artist. I haven't. I've been meaning to look up his stuff actually, but before I get on to him in the artwork, first time I saw these guys was in 2005 at the Guildhall in Southampton with Cradle of Filth, and there was another band on the bill, which oh, I'm blanking on at the moment. And then I saw them at Bloodstock 2010 because they filled in for Behemoth, as you know, Nogel got ill due to leukemia, and he, of course, he beat it, and he's still doing his stuff today. But it was good of these guys to step in and play for a bunch of wet, soaking metalheads because rain that it did rain that year, and that was my first year. Okay, looking at his artwork because he's got a website. Obviously, you look at the artwork and it does sum up the the band themselves. And now looking at his website and all the artwork, it's even got The Last Spire, which obviously was their last album before they disbanded. Uh, that's the only Cathedral one I can point out at the moment in time because this one's not appearing on it. It might be under a different name, the actual artwork itself. Looking at the artwork, looking at the no, I'll look a bit later, but I'm not. I want to say it's very abstract, this artwork, but you know, there's a lot of purple in there with some reds and bit more of a purpley pink right there, some white, yellow. A lot of stuff's going on. If you're watching this now and you're like really tired, you might be like, okay, so, like like get tired, start hallucinating and whatever, you know. You might think, what the hell's going on in this? Definitely sums up the album, like, but with the lyrical themes, like um, let's get on to the lyrical themes. So doom, occultism, dystopia, sci-fi. We all love sci-fi. Lovelessness, which a lot of us will, well, could relate to. Mythology, history, and film. So a lot of different subjects in there. And lyrical themes for Ebony Tears. Obviously, you got the bit where it says drowning in ebony tears, and after that, get into the second bit of the verse, and the last bit goes, the only pleasure is pain. So dealing with a lot of pain, sadness, and sorrow. Equilibrium, that's you know, obviously seeing the lyrics of beauty and chaos of fate, destiny, you know. So see beauty in the world, but also seeing chaos. That's what I'm getting from that song, because those were the two songs I knew before. That was you know, Ebony Tears and Equilibrium. Of course, the opening track, which is Picture of Beauty and Innocence, that was the intro, and then goes straight into consummating the celebration, consummating the celebration. What I was going to say that one then, with obviously with the intro, and that's on as 11 minutes and 15 seconds, so 11 and a half minutes. Then then Ebony Tears being 7 minutes and 45, and because all the songs are quite long except for Soul Sacrifice being the shortest one on this album at 2 minutes and 55 seconds. But still a great song. So that one's a bit more on, it's heavy but still upbeat. Then it goes back into the much slower one. So a funeral, request, and then equilibrium, and then reaching happiness, touching pain. And before those tracks, before Soul Sacrifice, you had Serpent, yeah, Serpent Eve. So so very dark titles for songs. Heavy, dark, but beautiful sounding at the same time. That's the best way to describe Cathedral's music. And if Lee or any of the original members from this album are watching this, then if they agree with that, cool. But they'll have their own opinion on the album, of course. Of course, it's their album, so they'll have a lot to say about it. Because it'd be cool to have Lee on the chat and talk to him about this album, just talk to him about Cathedral in general and his career in music. But primarily focus on this band that he formed back in that year of 1989. I'm not entirely sure when in 1989, but 1989, regardless. And whoever got to see these guys just that before they made this debut as a demo band, before this album, and then saw them from now on. Because, like I said, I only saw them twice, and I wish I got to see them a bit more. But I could still enjoy the music. But for all you guys brand new to whichever genre of metal is, you're like, oh, like Doom, this one. Definitely check out this. If you love Doom metal, you're gonna love this album. If you love death metal, you're gonna love this album. Because like I said, it's a very death Doom album. Because of all of the heavy style riffs, because a lot of them do sound very death metal. But blending Doom metal in there is all mixed well so together. Mixed very well, and you can't go wrong with a band like this. And I'm glad I got to know about these guys because, because I, as well as love my, everyone who knows my channel and has got to know me through my videos, but those who actually know me in person know I love my death metal. And I also love my thrash and my black metal, of course, my folk metal. I'm in a folk metal band, of course, and my sludge and industrial metal and groove metal and war metal, you know. But I love my doom metal as well, and hoping to, you know, play in a doom metal band myself because I love doom metal and obviously write some doom metal stuff because I am going to start writing some more on the funeral doom side, but still doom metal as a whole. But for all you veterans out there, whoever remembers this coming out, do comment down below because obviously I've been seeing Mark G with his C commenting on my videos lately, as well as others. But of course, he has a band himself called Enchantment. Do check him out. And if he's watching this now, did you guys ever support him? And I want to get him on the chat at some point, but of course his schedule's very busy. But it will happen, people. And I'll ask him properly about this, even if he answers it in the comments, if they actually got to play with Cathedral. But just check it out, guys, for anyone who's not familiar with him or knew about him but didn't really get or liked what they were doing at the time and then got into him. And or if you had this album and you want to find it again, I mean, original's going to go stupid amount, but I'm trying to remember where I found this. Now, I think I found it at HMV, or I got it for, might got it for Christmas. But still, solid Doom from the 90s is excellent. It's dark, heavy, but beautiful sounding. doom metal. This is Cathedral and Forest of Equilibrium. And there's another episode of My Metal Vault done and dusted. And that is it for this page I have here. Should really do this when I'm not recording, but it's just easier to do it now. Let's see what I got up next. So got episode 17 to 22 to do. So I got 4 more to do in January and then start 2 in February until I get to March. So got a lot on the next page in February. So that's 23 to 28, and then March be 29 to 35. Yeah, 35 can. Episode 35 is going to be a long one, just to let you know, but I try to make these as long as possible. Try and find as much information about the band and the album as possible. Of course, the next one going to be talking a good amount about, and the next one is going to be an album everyone knows, and so on and so forth. But thank you very much to those who have been watching my channel for a while. To anyone brand new, I hope you got something out of this. You learnt something from, so you know, you learnt something about this band and not have known who they were going into this video, because some people actually go into it. I sometimes do that. I go into a video and I just blindly watch it and hopefully, and I find out about a band, I check them out, like, great band, and then sometimes it's like not so much. But let me get some more water in. But once I have the other Cathedral albums, like I said, I'm only going to cover those that come out, albums come out in the 80s and 90s, so that'll be it. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you're brand new, don't forget to like this video, share it around, comment down below if you have anything to comment about, anything about the video, anything about the, you know, anything like, didn't know this band, so I'm going to check them out, or like, not my sort of thing, so you know, recommend them to someone else. And don't forget to subscribe. That's the word. To subscribe to my channel, to keep up to date with everything that I'm doing. I've surpassed 600 subscribers now, just to add on to the end of this video, which is great. Still going strong. Of course, like I said, so many more episodes of My Metal Vault, and that episode of my favorite death metal albums, because obviously I've got some new stuff to show, and chats are coming. Hopefully, one at this sometime in February, and there'll be more chats, but you know, and yeah, that's about it really. So thank you very much for tuning into this video. I've been Jake and Jake's Metal Chat. Do keep that banner of metal held high, and I will see you all again in another episode of My Metal Vault.